Well, if you haven't already figured it out, this is the concept design steam engine. I finally got around to mounting the flywheel, and I'm happy with it. It seems like it's sufficient amount of strength to hold it up, so I think I'll stick with this plan. Now if you haven't noticed already, I'll do a spin so you can see. It is horribly out of true. This rim must have been in a collision, because it is squished like a taco. Not much, but enough to make a difference. Now it actually doesn't really seem to want to wiggle the frame much, which is good. Hopefully it stays that way. The McMaster Carter bolt has worked well. It does what it's supposed to, and the flywheel is securely mounted. I supported the leg, so that's strong and sturdy. The wheels, actually, from the increase of weight, have broken the bolts, not the wheels themselves, so they have to be fixed. Stabilization of this engine's fairly good how it is, actually. It's wide enough set that it doesn't really want to flip this way. It definitely isn't going to go forward because of this big front leg. The wheels don't let it roll because I have two pads at the other end. But I also, just in case, because I'm an overkill kind of guy, have these. It's two tent spikes that I can unravel and hammer into the ground when I'm running it. Now, currently this engine does not have a pressure gauge on it, and I need to get some attachments to make that fit. So I'm just using this as an end cap because I don't have a shorter one, of course. So this just sits on there to keep the air in. But I want to have that. Now, this is going to be a dual action steam and air engine. Air input will be through there, and it is as simple as taking my well, no, I have the zip tie on there, but taking an air quick connect and popping it on. That will let air flow down to the boiler, which is a bad thing, so you take the valve. The steam, this would be the throttle if it was running on steam, but you take the throttle and shut it completely. That does not allow any air to go down. So it pressurizes this whole pipe and goes into the exhaust because I have threads, which I'm going to time. I have to finish the cam to go correctly. That's that thing keeps rubbing. I also do not have this engine bolted together. I don't know, can you see that? No, there's a crack here because I don't have it belted. This front actually lifts out. So I got to do that. That's why it doesn't quite want to harness freely. But with one simple, and yes, there's no compression right now, but on a steam engine, there actually isn't much compression at all. It spins a relatively long time on a gentle turn. I mean, I really didn't flip that hard. And it is rubbing just a hair right here. I need to sand that down. Would like to put in another valve here to control the air if I have it coming in. I put the light socket thing in because I had it laying around, and it makes a good spacer to keep this pipe up instead of this blue plastic thing. I cleaned my cylinder head, and that will be going on soon enough. Actually goes the other way. It'll be going on here. I'll put a bolt in the spark plug hole because I don't like having a spark plug in a steam engine. It's just wrong. I have a problem with that. I don't know why, but I do. Here's all the bolts that hold the engine together, and I have the valve lifters and miscellaneous other parts in there. Some more plumbing equipment for it. The head gasket, which keeps running away. It's a graphite head gasket, but I'm just going to try to reuse it. Here's the cam. I'm working on building up those double lobes. Need to make this one higher. And I need to overtime it, which means the exhaust opens. No, the exhaust and the intake are open at the same time for just a brief moment to let it not have compression so it can turn freely. But overall, I'm happy with the work I got done today. The next real step is going to be, oh, and obviously I mounted it. It wasn't mounted before. I have 4 bolts, very strong bolts. They're pretty thick. I think they're 1/4 inch. And then there's a washer, and you can't see anymore, but there's a big washer under there, under all of them, and they're bolted on there. It probably could have held it up by itself without the, you can't see that. Well, you can a little bit. It probably could have held itself up without this front bearing, but just for the bolt's sake, because this was a $15 bolt, I really wanted to have a bearing. That's really about it. That's all I've done. And I guess, look at how untrue that is. But I guess really the next step is, I'm a little worried about how much weight it takes. I think once it gets going, it'll be fine. But it's heavy getting it going. But now I just got to do the camshaft and then make some sort of, I would like to have a small chain drive coming off of the starter cup if I could, going down to some sort of starter motor, because I just think it'd be cool to have an electric steam engine start. But I gotta clean up because I've been making a mess. And I have propane burners for the boiler when I get around to making that. The only problem I've had so far today, and do you like my overkill support there? I think it'll be fine. It's 4 layers of wood. Is my bolts that hold in my wheels actually have bent into a U, and so the wheels don't work right now. But really, that's about it. And I kind of want something stronger to hold this up, but for now, this will have to do. And that's really about it. And in case you don't remember, I still want to have, coming from about this position, puffs the exhaust, which is now my old intake manifold, which I found out is cracked the length of it. I would like to put a pipe on and have it positioned right about here. So whenever it's spinning, puffs of air/steam will be coming out of the hole and possibly making a cool noise. So if anyone has an idea of a flexible pipe that you can kind of mold into the shape you want it to stay there, let me know. And it would be best if I could epoxy it on or do something where I could attach it to this. And dimensions of this is it's 3.5 feet tall, measured from the top of the flywheel to the ground. It's 2.4 feet deep. And it is roughly, this measurement I kind of did real fast, it's 2.2 feet wide. And it probably at this point weighs every bit, with all the wood and metal, every bit of, I would say at least 75 pounds, because this right here is 50 by itself. And then the engine probably throws on, I would say, maybe another 10 to 15. Maybe it's, no, I'm pretty sure it's about 75 pounds, could be more. That's about it for you. And here you go.